What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another live stream. Thank you guys all for stopping by. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a live stream. And I apologize for that, but I have some other stuff going on, other stuff that's in the works right now. So it's kind of taking up my weekend. So I have things that I need to do. So that's why I've been putting out videos. I'm trying to put out more videos, maybe a couple of videos a day. That way, hopefully it will compensate for the fact that I'm not doing the live streams. But just understand, live streams take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for me to set everything up and to test things out and make sure they work and all that good stuff. So that is, we'll be getting back to the live streams, but just right now, I'm going to take a little bit of time so I can get everything going. Now, of course, I'm doing a live stream today. Anytime there's any big news, I am going to jump on live. And it won't be anything that I've planned. It's just going to be something that's like, okay, yeah, let's go live. We have some stuff to talk about today, and you guys see right there on the screen there that the chief of staff, Pence's chief of staff, Marc Short, tested positive for COVID-19. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button. I did not do anything when it came to promoting this, so you guys can really help me out by hitting that like button. That way YouTube will start promoting it out to more people. And I think everything's going okay with the chat. I see some people chatting in here. At least I see a few people chatting. It's kind of strange. Usually I have more people in the chat. So just let me know you guys can see me, hear me, all that good stuff. If you can let me know in the chat, that'll really help out. Then I can just make sure everything is working. Okay, I see you. Yvonne, what's going on? Mary, what's going on? Miss Happy Apple, of course, what's going on? Thank you for being here, Miss Happy Apple. She is our moderator, one of our moderators, and she's going to help out today, so I appreciate that. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to take it from the standpoint of what's next when it comes to the campaign. And we're also going to tie this into, stimulus checks, right? Stimulus package, because a lot of the stuff that's going on right now when it comes to the rise in numbers, COVID-19, and the talk right now about the stimulus package, that plays a big role in how these politicians are going to maneuver around this, because we're looking at a campaign. I mean, we're a week and a half away from a major campaign or major election. And how are these politicians going to be able to talk to their constituents and not address this issue? And I'm sure this is coming up over and over again. And as numbers continue to rise when it comes to cases, and we know how it works, cases rise first, and then we start seeing hospitalizations and we see more deaths. So as that starts to increase in this next week and a half, how are these politicians going to handle the fact that no aid is coming their way, at least nothing that we know about right now? So this is going to be interesting. This might push the needle when it comes to some of these politicians who don't want to do anything at all. So like you have, I say you have two sides. You have Nancy Pelosi, who wants more, and she's trying to push for more, but she's been very, very firm on her numbers. So if it's 2.2 trillion, that's what she wants. And she wants the wording, the language, the way she wants it. Now, she does have a lot of leverage, but she's playing that role of not going forward unless we get what she wants, right? And then you have the other side. You have some politicians, some Republican senators that do not want another stimulus package at all. So they don't care how much it could cost, $2. They still don't want it. Well, I won't even say that. You know what? The $500 billion seems to be okay with them, that skinny bill without stimulus checks. They seem to like that. That's kind of the way that they want to go about it. But the American people, most American people don't want that, right? We want stimulus checks. If you're going to give money to businesses, you should be giving money to people as well. All right, so as you guys come in, just do me a favor, hit the like button so we can really get this promoted out to more people. Now, we're only going to be on for about 30 minutes. I want to kind of cut this one a little shorter than normal. Because I want people to be able to watch it tomorrow morning, because I understand we're doing it late tonight, so we're not going to have a large audience. If I do videos, generally if I do a video and it's a longer video, a lot of times what happens, when I say a longer video, longer live stream, a lot of times what happens is you don't get a lot of people that will watch it after the fact, but I want people to watch this because this is very important. Okay, so I am going to, let's see, I can pull this article up. And this is Washington Post. Now this, as far as the media outlets, they haven't really put this out yet. I haven't seen much coming out. I'm sure it'll be coming out in the next probably 10, 15 minutes, but it just hasn't come out yet. So let me go ahead, and I think I can flip, maybe not. Let's see here. Just seeing if I can flip this over so you guys can take a look while we watch it. All right. Yeah, so there we are. So let me get this out of the way. There it is. All right. So this is Washington Post, and they just posted this probably about 30 minutes ago. And so I don't know why that's showing there. Let's get that out of there. All right. So Pence's chief of staff, Marc Short, tested positive for COVID-19 or coronavirus. And so, and there's said to be, so Marc Short, chief of staff, and he travels with the vice president, and has, as recently as yesterday, Friday, he was traveling with the vice president. And so, the vice president's out on the campaign trail. So he's going to all these different rallies, and Marc Short is with him. Now, there's another aide that tested positive. Plus, they believe there's a third person that tested positive, and they're all tied to the vice president's entourage, I guess you could say. So that's where we are right now, and I'm sure you're going to see more numbers because we saw exactly what happened the last time with President Trump, and you just saw all these people started testing positive. Now, the good news is that, let me flip back here. The good news is that Mike Pence and his wife, the second lady, they both tested negative. Now, that's right now they tested negative, but we saw how this happened before. Some people tested negative first, and then they tested positive. Chris Christie was one. He tested negative first, and then he tested positive later. So that is not a good indicator, or that doesn't mean that he doesn't have COVID-19, Mike Pence. That just means that right now he's not testing positive for it. So this is interesting. But what I found even more interesting about this whole situation is Mike Pence's spokesperson has already spoken about this, and Mike Pence has a rally tomorrow in North Carolina. So guess what? He's going. He's still going to go. And the spokesperson explained it like this: he's an essential worker. That means that, or he's essential personnel. So that means that he should be able to continue to carry out his business. I have a problem with that because this is a campaign. He's going to a campaign rally. This is not something that has to happen. He's not, he's not doing the work for the American people right now. He's campaigning for the election. So I think that that's not a good excuse for him to be out there and then putting everyone at risk if there is a situation where he has it, right? The CDC guidelines, CDC guidelines states if it's not an essential worker that they have to quarantine. I mean, that's the recommendation. You need to quarantine. If you've been close to someone who's had or who's tested positive for COVID-19, you need to quarantine. And so now, like I said, the spokesperson is kind of falling back on, well, he's an essential worker, so he needs to do the work for the American people, which, like I said, if he were doing the work for the American people, then even though I still would be funny about that, I could understand, okay, he's doing the work for the American people, that's why he's out there. But this situation is he's going to a campaign rally. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to go on a plane and put everyone at risk, just potentially put everyone at risk. And plus, you have to look at this. His entourage is now testing positive for COVID-19. So guess what? There's probably more people in his circle that travels with him to these different campaigns that could be positive or could be positive and infect other people. So yeah, it's crazy to think that that Mike Pence is going to do. I mean, at the very least, what I would do is cancel the next couple of days, test again a couple of times, and then if you're negative 2-3 more days, then go ahead and go out. But doing this, I just think is very, very irresponsible. I mean, and another one thing I have is, okay, are you going to see Mike Pence with Trump? Are you going to see them together?
This is a commercial for Warby
Okay, let me turn this down.
Let's enjoy the mixing.
We got commercials going on here. All right, so that will be interesting, right? How are they going to handle that situation? Is Mike Pence, President Trump, are they going to be together? Are you going to see them together at all? Now, President Trump's going to say, well, I'm immune. We don't know that. We don't know how long this immunity lasts, or if there is really an immunity. And we have heard of people getting COVID-19 more than once. So are you going to see them together? That's what I want to see if that transpires. But I just think ultimately the right decision is to hold off on these next couple of days. I mean, yes, we're have a week and a half before an election, but you can take a couple of days and just make sure that everyone is safe. And you're still, even if you're thinking about yourself and you're saying, okay, I tested negative, the second lady tested negative, so we're okay. No, that's not how it works. Yes, you guys are okay, but what about the other people who travel with you? You're putting them at risk. And even if you don't have it, you're still putting them at risk because they're going to be traveling with you. So we'll have to see. It's interesting that Washington Post, when they put the article out, they made sure to say that Marc Short, the chief of staff, is a fierce opponent, or not a fierce opponent, but a fierce advocate of not wearing a mask, or not thinking that the coronavirus is as big as it is, or whatever. However you want to see it. I can't even think of the exact wording. Let me pull the article up. Oh, you know what? I turned it off, so it was showing a commercial. But he's not for wearing masks and things like that. But now we look at this situation, and so it's not over. It's not over. And when I say it's not over, we American people know it's not over. We're seeing it every day. We're seeing the deaths every day. We're seeing the cases rise. But when I say it's not over, I mean among the White House and the vice president's entourage, it's not over amongst them. It's still spreading. And so I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. So in the chat, let me know what you're thinking about this, and we're going to go to the chat and do some Q&A, I guess. We'll call it Q&A. Yeah, so like I said, I don't want to be on too long. I just wanted to come out, let you guys know this. It's easier for me to do a live stream. I come out and do a live stream. It's quicker for me to do that than to put out a video, because usually it takes me a little while to shoot the video, edit the video, and then upload it. So this is one of those things I just wanted to get out to you guys. So that's where we are right now. And Vice President Pence, he's still going to be doing the rallies. I'm amazed at this whole thing. Now, of course, what are they going to start going back to? Okay, how many people had it? Did we know of anyone that had it back during the debate? I know the debate was a little while ago. I'm talking about not this last debate, but the debate before that. Is there a possibility that Kamala Harris could have been, in a situation where she was exposed? So all these questions are going to come up, and I'm sure tomorrow this is going to be the talk. They have the morning talk shows. This question is going to come up. Every person who's interviewed is going to be asked this question. But I think the real thing that they're going to focus on, and the real thing that I'm focusing on, is this situation where Mike Pence feels like, hey, I could still go out and do the campaigning. It's just not a good. It's not safe, and it's not a good look. It doesn't look good. We have people that are dying of COVID-19, people that are getting sick enough to go to the hospital for COVID-19, and we're spiking right now when it comes to cases, and you were exposed to it, whether you have it or not. That's one thing, but you were exposed to it, and you're still considering going, or not considering. I'm sorry, you're still going to North Carolina to do a rally. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so who do we have in the building? Hey, what's going on, Dolly? Thank you for being here, Dolly. All right, and we have some members here. Now, if you guys don't know, we do have a membership program. I will be doing, so members, listen, I will be putting out a live stream. I think the plan is I'm going to do it on Monday. Okay, so Monday, I'll let you guys know. I'll post a post on the community page just for members and let you guys know. But I do want to come on and we can just chat. I know I'm doing one every month. I plan on doing it the middle of the month, but I couldn't do it this last time in the middle of the month. So I will be doing it Monday, and it will probably be tentatively 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's the tentative time. And I plan to do more. So even if I can't do, and I'm talking just to the members right now, but even if I can't do if I can't make that time, like if you can't make that time, I plan to do more. So you're going to get more than just one live stream a month. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's give some shout outs here. Jennifer, what's going on? Thank you for being here. Robert, what's going on? Thank you for being here. And who else we have in the building? Jason, what's going on? Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being here. Linda, what's going on? All right. So we're going to go up to the top. And if you have a question for me, just put at TEC. I will answer that question. If you have a statement to make, put at TEC. If you want to start some type of a discussion about something, put at TEC, and then go ahead and put what you want to discuss. And let's see here. All right, so we'll just work our way down, answer these questions, and then we'll end for the night. Now, I will be putting out multiple videos tomorrow. So when I say multiple, it's going to be 2 or 3. And I know, okay, so this is the thing that's going on with these multiple videos. People like seeing the reaction videos to the different politicians and the different aides and stuff like that. Larry Kudlow, people love watching Larry Kudlow because he's interesting to listen to. Whether you agree with him or you don't, he's very animated and interesting to listen to. So people like these reaction videos, so I'm going to start doing more of those. And so not only am I going to do the traditional updates, but then I'm also going to go in and do the reaction videos. And so tomorrow, since Sunday is morning talk show day, I'm probably going to do, well, I will be doing multiple videos, just depending on who's talking and what they're saying. All right. Okay, Debbie, what's going on? Watching from Stockton, California. Great. Let's see. So Raquel saying I'm loud and clear. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that. That's one thing. That's a struggle. This whole live stream, when you're doing live and your audio is all messed up, that's a big problem. All right. Okay. Debbie, it's a pandemic. All right. Let's see here. Well, Frederick saying Nancy's bill is what we need. And another thing I wanted to talk about too, it just reminded me. So, and I talked a little bit about this when we first started. So what the effects of COVID-19 right now with the spiking and with now this latest story with the vice president's office, that could potentially push politicians to do something before the election, or at least have something set in place before the election. So it looks like they're moving forward with something because, like I said, and I said this earlier if you guys didn't catch it, if you came in just a few minutes ago, the situation that we're in right now is getting worse. And people are going to their politicians saying, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for this country? Like, it's not getting better. People and the talk is, oh yeah, the job people are going back to work and this and that, and the jobs numbers look good. Well, there's still a lot of people out of work, and we're still struggling with this COVID-19 stuff. And it's not just the U.S.; it is all over the world. But we need to be able to handle things, and we do need more funding. We do need PPP money. I agree. We do need enhanced unemployment. I agree. We need stimulus checks. So what the whole question is going to come like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for me? So you might have some politicians that might kind of change their tune. Like, you know what? Especially the ones who are running for reelection, they're going to be like, hey, we need to at least put something to paper before the election so we can at least say this is the plan. And I think the House, if the House were to vote on something, call everyone back because they're on recess right now, but call everybody back and vote on something, approve it. So approve whatever is negotiated between the White House and Nancy Pelosi. If they can agree upon something, vote on it, and then wait. And, the Senate will have to vote after the election, but at least have it halfway. That way, some of these politicians can at least go to their districts or at least come back to their districts and say, hey, guess what? We just voted on another stimulus package for the American people. We're just waiting on the Senate. That's we've heard that before, but at least it's something. Okay, Jennifer said I got to go to bed. All right, cool. Y'all have a great night. Have a good night, Jennifer. All right. So like I said, any questions, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Christine says scary. Yes, it's very scary. I mean, it's crazy. And just like before, we saw how it happened and how it spread. That first 4 or 5 days, we started seeing more and more cases. And so I anticipate that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen now. And so we'll see that. But like I said, at this point, we should be slowing down. Mike Pence should be slowing down at this point. There should be no, I'm going to continue doing the campaign. Right? Look, President Trump is doing rallies every day. Okay, so there's no real urgency that he has to go out and do these rallies. I think it's just one of those things where they don't want to look like this COVID-19 is controlling their movements, and so they don't want to not do the rallies because then it looks like, oh, COVID won. But you have to do what's right for the American people, and let alone like you're putting people that work for you at risk, but then you're going into an environment where and let's just say Mike Pence doesn't have it. Let's say the vice president doesn't have it, but his entourage does. So other people in his entourage do. So they could be spreading it to other people that go to these rallies. All right, let's see here. All right, guys, so we'll be on another 7 minutes. So if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you put it in the chat. And then please do me a favor. You can hit the like button. That would help out because this video will be out tomorrow. And, well, it'll be out it's a live stream now, but people will be watching it tomorrow. So if you can do that, I'd appreciate it. Joshua, thank you very much for the super chat, Joshua. All right. Okay, so Dina says, vote for President Trump. You got to give me more. Give me more than that. Vote for President Trump. Give me the reasons why we should vote for President Trump. Okay? If someone says vote for Biden, I'm going to say the same thing. Give me the reasons why we should vote for Biden. All right. So Richard's saying that I hope no one ever tests positive for COVID-19, but I fear we have just hit the tip of the iceberg. And you're probably right, Richard. I would agree with you. I think we're going to be in for a rough couple of months. I would agree with that. We're coming into the winter, and scientists have been saying this. This is going to be the well, I guess they're calling it the third spike now. So I truly believe that we're going to be in this situation that's not going to be. I mean, the whole fear is that we have to shut down again. We have to shut down again, but we got to do what's right to protect the American people. And I'm not for shutting things down, but if we get to a point where it gets really bad, then that's going to be the only option. And so we still have this argument going on about wearing a mask, and people don't want to wear a mask. Well, if you don't want to wear a mask, then you might have to be in a situation where things get shut down completely. So, I mean, that to me, it takes a second to put a mask on and walk into a store or be out in the community with a mask on. It only takes a second to put it on. But if you don't, then we might be in a situation where we're facing another shutdown. All right, Miss Happy Apple, thank you very much for the super chat. You are the best. Always there helping out. I mean, and understand the moderators, they're voluntarily doing this. Okay, so Miss Happy Apple, Dolly, I have people come on all the time. Sherry's another one that they want to help, and I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's see. Reverence is saying vote independent. Who's running on the independent ticket? I don't even know. I haven't even looked into that. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? Just put at TEC. I'm just working my way through here. Let's see. Miss Lovely is saying, do you think that Mitch McConnell will be reelected? There's an interesting story about Mitch McConnell. I guess he had some visible bruising on his face and his hands. And so reporters were asking him, what's going on? Are you okay? Are you healthy? And, no, I'm fine. But it was visible. And actually, I saw this maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where his hand was discolored. And so you can go on Google right now, just type it in, and they'll show you different pictures. But obviously he doesn't want, if there's something going wrong with his health right now, he doesn't want to say anything right now because he's running for reelection, and that could hurt that will hurt his reelection if people find out that he's suffering with something. But I just thought that was very interesting, and that's kind of the story that's going around Washington right now. Mitch McConnell he's not healthy. As far as winning re-election, I believe, I haven't checked the numbers in 3 or 4 days, but he was up in the polls before. Now it's a close race, but he's still favored to win, and he is the incumbent, so he does have a lot of sway. Like he's talked with different, he talks to the right people to get him over the finish line, but we'll have to see what happens because there's been a lot of stuff going on this year, especially with COVID-19 and trying to get these relief bills through. And so I think ultimately he's going to suffer from it. Now, will it cost him his seat? We'll have to see. Now, another thing too, we're going to have to see how the Senate comes out of this, because you have 23 Republican senators that are running for re-election. You have 12 Democrats. And even earlier today, I believe it was today, maybe it was today or yesterday, President Trump in a fundraiser, just a private fundraiser. Now, this is all secondhand information. So I guess President Trump was talking about the Senate to the people, his fundraisers, and he was saying that he doesn't think that the Senate will stay Republican. He thinks that the Democrats will take over. Now, he could be saying that just to push for more financial assistance for both him and for the Republican senators. But I believe President Trump also said that he is not going to be supporting, openly supporting some of these Senate Republicans because they haven't really been there for him. I'd have to agree. You have senators that are Republican senators that are not doing what the president wants and they're not trying to help the president. And this whole stimulus package thing, they could really help the president if they just said, okay, we're going to go along. 1.8 trillion, we'll go along with that. Because what could happen right now if you had senators, and I know President Trump keeps saying, yes, you know what, we have support with the Republicans, they'll go ahead and go along with us. But what they could do is they could take that 1.8 trillion. They don't need Nancy Pelosi to pass the whatever, the 1.8 trillion. They don't need Nancy Pelosi to pass it. They could pass it in the Senate and then send it over to her. Now she has a big dilemma. You have stimulus checks in there, you have PPP money, you have money for airlines, you have all this different funding. If the Senate passes it and sends it over to her, she's going to have to break that down and figure out what she's going to do, but she's going to have to make a decision. Right now, she has all the leverage because they know that the Senate is not going to pass anything. The Senate on their own is not going to pass anything. So the president has lost a lot of the Republican support in the Senate. And so I think now he's kind of upset about that. And he's openly saying that I'm not going to be out there endorsing some of these other candidates, Republican candidates. Okay. All right, guys, we'll be on a couple more minutes. Just going to go through. I might miss a couple of questions. If I do miss a question, it's something you really want me to answer, just put it in the comment section after this video. All right. Sarah says, hey. Hey, Sarah. Let's see. Frank is saying, what do you think happens to Pelosi after election? I don't know what you mean. She's going to win her seat. She's in San Francisco. She's not going to lose her seat. Now, the House, which I found it interesting that President Trump was saying that the House he thinks will go to the Republicans, but and he said that in his debate, and that's just not going to happen. It just isn't. I can't see a swing that big. So she'll remain the speaker unless they vote her out. Okay, so it'll be the Democrats would have to vote her out, and then she would no longer be speaker. But I don't think that's going to happen because you have to understand, you have Nancy Pelosi and then you have the leadership, the Democratic leadership in the House. So it's not just Nancy Pelosi. So they carry a lot of influence. And the junior representatives, they don't really want to make too many waves when it comes to that because it can affect them. It can affect their future. And so if they do have a future, they want to have a future, they want to be chair people on some of these boards and things like, or these committees, then they're not going to want to make too many waves. They'll complain about things, but they're not going to go over the top and try to vote someone out, because if it doesn't work, well, then now they're kind of they're blacklisted. Okay. So Miss Lovely is saying that can't Trump do an executive order? So he can't do it. And this is the thing. President Trump will say a lot of things, and he can't do a lot of the stuff that he's talking about. And so he said, "Oh yeah, I think some people say that I could do an executive order." But realistically, he can't. He doesn't have the purse. He doesn't have the money. He even said in the debate, he's like, there's nothing I can do. I got to go through Nancy Pelosi. Which, like I just explained, that's not the only way to go. You can go the Republican route. If you have the support, you can go the Republican route. You can go through the Senate. And that's not going to get it completely done, but it'll get it at least to a point where it's now in her court and she has a bill that she has to look at. Right now, she doesn't. And so when it comes down to it, yes, he'll talk the game. Oh, executive order. He can't do it. Congress has the money. So you can do an executive order, but how are you going to pay for it? Let's see. Fadi's asking about the enhanced unemployment. Does it have to be paid back? Well, regular unemployment has to be paid back, and that's a good question. I actually never even thought about that. The federal money, the enhanced unemployment, I will look into that because I do not know the answer. And I don't want to give you the wrong answer, but I know your regular unemployment. So with the state, the money that's coming from the state does have to be paid back. So just be aware of that. I was when I was a kid, I got unemployment. I didn't realize that it had to be paid back until I did my taxes, and I was like, "What? I owe this money back, or I owe, some of the money back." So yeah. All right. Yeah, and trust me, and I see you guys talking about the executive order. Trust me, if President Trump could do an executive order, he would have done it months ago. So that just shows you that he can do it, and especially now. I mean, he's down in the polls. This last debate, however you want to see it, you can call it a tie if you want to call it a tie, but President Trump really needed to shine in that debate. And I think we could all agree that he was not far superior than Joe Biden. I mean, at best, I would call it a tie. But when it comes down to it, he needs this. He needs a positive story. We're going to see the 60 Minutes interview tomorrow, which most people have already seen it because President Trump put it out first. But you're going to see it. It will be edited, but the good thing about like 60 Minutes and things like that, when they edit things, they're going to show you the different sides. So they're going to show you, okay, what Trump is saying now in the interview, and then what he said in the past. And so they can kind of tie all that stuff in, so you can say, oh, okay, yeah, no, he did say that, or he didn't say that. So that will be coming out. And so you're having these stories coming out. You have the Mike Pence story that will for the next week. We're going to be talking about that. And so he needs something right now. And if he could do an executive order, I'm sure he would have done it already. And I believe they looked into it. I think I was reading a story. I read so many different stories. Sometimes it gets it gets all confusing in my head. But I believe I was reading a story where they were talking about trying to get some funding, and I think it was the funding from the PPP, the unused money. If they were trying to see if they could use that money for other things, and then the White House attorneys said no, we can't go that route. So if it could have been done, it would have been done already. All right, guys, we're gonna have to call it. Let's see, one last question here. Oh. And so Cassandra's saying you have to pay back regular unemployment. The best thing to do is to have them take out taxes. Okay, yeah, and like I said, regular I know for sure. Enhanced unemployment, I don't know how they're working that. And now it is coming from the state. You're getting one check, so I don't know how they're going to go about that. But that is a good tip, having the taxes taken out or holding them off to the side for yourself. Okay, let's see. So Frank is asking, if Trump is reelected, will a stimulus package happen faster? That's a good question. It's only going to happen. Well, okay, so President Trump is not the how can I say this? You need Congress, okay? You need the legislators to put a bill together and approve a bill and then send it to the president. So that should be the focus. The president is there; he can sign off on it in the end, but what you need is Congress to act. And the president could have major influence over Congress, and he might have some more influence if he does win, because he can look at these Congress people that are coming back, because some of them won't be coming back, but the ones that are coming back, and say, look, I'm going to be the president another 4 years. You can either go with what I want, or you're going to have a rough 4 years. You're going to be tweeted about every week. So I mean, technically, if President Trump really wanted it, but I think we're going to be in a situation where if President Trump wins, he's going to be like, you know what, I'm past all this. We don't need it. The economy's getting better. This, that, and he might not really push for it unless it gets really bad. And so that's kind of how I'm thinking it's going to go. And then, like I said, you're going to have Congress. You're going to have Congress people that aren't going to get reelected. They're not going to want to do anything. They're not going to care to do anything. They're going to say, you know what, I'm passing this on to the next person. And so the Congress is going to be the big problem. And if the president doesn't win, well, I'm pretty much 99% sure that he's not going to even care about putting another stimulus package on the table. And so it really won't get done until February. I think any way we look at it, we probably won't see anything until February if we're in a situation where we have the lame duck Congress and lame duck president. We're not going to see anything until February. Let's see. What is the Mike Pence story? I'm going to post it right here so you can see it. So his chief of staff got COVID-19. All right, guys. Any other questions? We'll do one more question, then we're going to take off. And so Tracy's saying that five of his staff have tested positive. Or wait, 5 of his staff testing positive is a lot. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you're not making a statement. You're making a statement, but I don't know if you're telling me that 5 tested positive. I don't know how many have tested positive yet. I know that it's the chief of staff as of right now and 2 aides at this point. Okay, so Robert said that he looked online and the enhanced unemployment is taxed as income. Okay, so that's good. So if it's taxed, it's taxed. So just be aware of that. If you've been receiving the enhanced unemployment, you are going to have to pay taxes on that. All right, guys. All right, we're going to go ahead and take off. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to be putting out at least 2 videos tomorrow, maybe 3. So be prepared to watch those. And if you guys can do me a favor, when you watch the video, hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm to push this video up so more people can see it. So hit the like button on this video as well as when I put out videos tomorrow. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. So I will talk to you later. Bye.